Welcome back to Bike to Wheel World. Today, we're taking a detailed look at the 2026 Suzuki V-Strom 250, a motorcycle designed to combine everyday practicality with the comfort and character of an adventure tourer. Before we begin, it's important to clarify that the 2026 V-Strom 250 and the V-Strom 250 SX sold in some markets are different motorcycles. The international spec V-Strom 250 uses Suzuki's 248cc parallel twin platform, while the V-Strom 250 SX uses a 249cc single-cylinder engine. For this review, we're focusing on the 2026 V-Strom 250, which Suzuki updated for the Japanese market in July 2026. At first glance, the V-Strom 250 immediately communicates its adventure touring identity. It is not trying to be an extreme off-road machine or a high-performance sport bike. Instead, Suzuki has focused on creating a motorcycle that feels approachable, comfortable and useful over long distances while remaining manageable in everyday riding. That philosophy is one of the bike's biggest strengths. The styling follows the familiar V-Strom family language, with a tall adventure tourer stance, a practical windscreen, protective bodywork and a substantial fuel tank. The 2026 model continues that touring-focused approach while adding details intended to make everyday ownership more convenient. Starting at the front, the motorcycle has a distinctive adventure-oriented face. The headlight design has a rugged appearance, and the compact windscreen is positioned to provide useful protection from wind without making the motorcycle feel excessively large. Suzuki also provides handguards, which add a little protection and contribute to the bike's touring character. The 2026 Japanese market update also brings revised equipment including pedal-style brake discs and updated instrumentation functions. Move around to the side and the V-Strom 250's proportions become even more obvious. The motorcycle measures approximately 2,150 mm long, 790 mm wide and 1,295 mm tall, with a 1,425 mm wheelbase. Its seat height is around 800 mm, making the riding position relatively accessible for an adventure-style motorcycle. The 188 kg curb mass gives it a more substantial feel than lightweight 250cc dual-sport motorcycles, but that additional weight is part of what helps make it feel planted during highway and touring use. The fuel tank is another major feature. Suzuki lists a capacity of approximately 17.3 liters, which is unusually generous for a motorcycle in this engine class. That large tank is especially useful for touring because it can reduce the frequency of fuel stops. The 2026 update continues to emphasize long-distance usability, making the V-Strom 250 more of a genuine compact tourer than simply a city motorcycle wearing adventure styling. At the rear, the design remains practical rather than purely cosmetic. The bike incorporates luggage-friendly equipment and a substantial rear section suited to touring. Suzuki also retains a center stand, which can be particularly useful when maintaining or adjusting the drive chain and when the motorcycle is loaded for longer trips. One of the most interesting aspects of the V-Strom 250 is its engine. Unlike the V-Strom 250 SX, the international spec V-Strom 250 uses a 248cc liquid-cooled, 4-stroke, SAC parallel twin engine with fuel injection. It is paired with a 6-speed constant mesh transmission. Suzuki specifically developed the engine around strong low and mid-range torque, which suits the motorcycle's touring mission. The engine produces its performance in a smooth and predictable manner rather than delivering an aggressive hit. That makes it particularly appropriate for riders who value control and refinement. Around town, the parallel twin layout provides a pleasant character, while the 6-speed gearbox gives the rider enough flexibility to keep the engine comfortable at higher road speeds. This is not a motorcycle built around huge acceleration numbers. Its appeal comes from usable performance. When you open the throttle, the V-Strom 250 responds progressively, making it easy to manage in traffic and on winding roads. The engine's low to mid-range focus also means you do not have to constantly chase the highest part of the rev range to make useful progress. The 6-speed transmission is another important part of the package. Lower gears provide the response needed for city riding and climbing, while the higher gears allow the motorcycle to settle into a more relaxed rhythm during longer journeys. For a compact adventure tourer, that flexibility is more valuable than simply having a high peak power figure. The chassis follows the same philosophy. Up front, the motorcycle uses a telescopic fork with coil springs and oil damping. At the rear, there is a swinger-mounted coil spring, oil-damped setup. The combination is aimed at providing a stable and comfortable ride rather than extreme off-road suspension travel. The 17-inch front and rear wheels further show what kind of adventure bike this really is. With the 110/80/17 front tire and a 140/70/17 rear tire, the V-Strom 250 is better suited to paved roads and light adventure use than serious trail riding. These dimensions help deliver predictable handling on asphalt, particularly during cornering and highway travel. Braking is handled by disc brakes at both ends. The updated 2026 Japanese market version adds pedal-type brake discs, contributing to the motorcycle's refreshed specification. The braking system is designed around everyday road use and touring rather than track riding. From the rider's perspective, ergonomics are one of the strongest arguments for the V-Strom 250. The seating position is upright, giving the rider a good view over traffic and reducing the need to lean forward. The handlebar position supports a relaxed posture, while the windscreen and handguards help make longer journeys more comfortable. This is exactly where the V-Strom 250 separates itself from many small displacement motorcycles. It does not simply use a small engine and call itself an adventure bike. The entire package is designed around traveling. The fuel capacity, seating position, wind protection, luggage potential and touring equipment all work together toward the same goal. The 2026 model also offers practical instrumentation. Suzuki's specification includes a full LCD instrument panel, while the updated Japanese market version adds functions such as selectable odometer and twin-trip displays. Together with a clock, a standard 12-volt accessory socket is another useful addition for touring, allowing compatible devices to be powered while riding. That 12-volt outlet may sound like a small feature, but for a touring motorcycle it can make a noticeable difference. Riders often depend on navigation and other electronic equipment during longer journeys, so having a factory-installed power outlet reinforces the V-Strom's practical character.